Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and today we're going to be playing some 10NL Snap on the AAA network. We've moved from party poker for two reasons. Number one reason, and the most important by an absolute mile, is that party poker just is an enormous resource hog. My computer just didn't like it when I had like party poker open, Camtasia open to do the recording, and I was trying to open Hold'em Manager 2 so we can have a HUD when we're playing, and yeah, my computer's like the CPU usage is incredibly high. It just doesn't like party poker very much. I've googled it, it does seem to be an issue with party poker, not my computer as such. So rather than battle with that, we'll just play some Snap instead, and we'll change the title of the first few videos to something more generic, and we'll crack on. Before we get on with the video, if anyone didn't see the video I created yesterday, which if you're looking at this in a few days' time or whenever, the video before this one chronologically, I am looking for some students to work with. I've got a lot more time in my life again now. At the end of last year, we had some domestic uncertainty, nothing serious. I'm not divorced, no one died, anything like that. Like work-wise, I changed the way I work. It took longer than expected. It created a little bit of stress and anxiety. Subsequently, I stopped doing the poker videos and the coaching just because I wasn't in the right place to be doing it, and it's not fair to be asking people to pay you for your services when you're not in a position to provide good services. I'm out of that now. I'm very much back in the pink, and I'm looking to try and attract up to around 5 people to work with over the coming weeks and months. I've already had interest in 2 players, which is nice. So hopefully I'll get the amount of players that I want in. But if you didn't watch yesterday's video, didn't catch it, and you are interested in getting in touch, my contact details are beneath the video, and please do reach out if you'd like to do some work with me. All that nonsense out of the way, let's crack on. The pool isn't very big today. I don't know if there's something wrong with AAA. Maybe they had a server restart or something. But I'm starting to get concerned for AAA cash game traffic. Poker Scout doesn't necessarily report it's dropping too much, but 13L runs for like 4 or 5 hours a day maximum right now, and I logged in this morning at 10NL. It's 9:30 in the morning, and 10NL had 16 players in when I logged in, which doesn't seem great given how robust the traffic used to be at 10NL on this site. We've been checked min raised here by a short start. We have like a really poor good shot. We're gonna have to just fold, which is unfortunate. I think the C bet's fine. Good shot, no showdown value, but I think once we get check raised, it's I'm afraid the party's over. So we trip jacks here against 2 people. I think betting somewhere around 45 seems appropriate here. Hope to get raised. I guess it's kind of hard. I know somebody auto reload. It doesn't seem to be working properly. Because it's quite hard for anyone to have anything that can raise us there. Hopefully, we're hoping to get called by like King X, open enders, just some stubborn pocket pairs. It's going to overlimp here on the button with the pocket 4s. It's stack size. I mean, we can raise. It's a hand that doesn't play that well post flop. We can't going to find that many good c-bet spots against loose passive opponents. Just rather overlimp. Try and flop a set multi-way and make some money. Don't know anything about swap pup here. Other than he's got a Swedish flag and he's apparently from Ireland. I think if we 3-bet here and we get jammed on, we have to get it in, but I think we just still need to do that. We need to be aware of that's what we're doing beforehand. And not be taken by surprise when the jam comes or when the 4-bet comes. For some reason, I've had an alarm set for 9:30 AM, which doesn't make sense. Don't know why that's happened. Make a small c-bet here with our ace king. And we get the job done. Just gonna. I would just have jammed the 2 queens here versus him, but now he's come along too. Nah, fuck it, we're still gonna jam. He snap calls. This is the guy we just played against previously with the ace king in the previous hand, and we hold, which is not unpleasant. We've isolated this player here. We're going to go for a delayed C bet. Well, now we're just going to go for a delayed value bet. I don't think we get too many folds on these boards, and then when we see a player check twice, we can be much more inclined to or much more encouraged that our bluff's going to work. Because typically, if he did have if he was limp calling on like pocket sixes, pocket sevens, it'd be almost certainly going to check call line on the flop. But once we didn't bet the flop, then they check again on the turn, they're going to be betting most of their pocket pairs, one would imagine. Maybe not on the king. And we're just going to fold here. We lose to 4x, we lose to flushes. And it's an overbet, and I can't remember the last time I called an overbet at the micro stakes, or any stakes, but not that I play any higher than micro stakes. I can't remember the last time I called an overbet and actually had the best hand when I just had a bluff catcher. So we're just going to fold there and not worry too much about it. I think if we are routinely paying off overbets with bluff catchers in these games, I think we're in for a pretty torrid experience. I think we should be most looking to fold to overbets unless we have an incredibly good reason to call them. I.e. our hand's super strong or we think our opponent's super spewy. Just gonna... What am I just going to do? What am I just going to do? Enough equity just to call, I think. I don't think a raise is going to have a great deal of success in terms of like making better hands fold. And now we have what, like the third nuts. Again, with not really any value in raising here. Just call. Hope he's bluffing. If he's not bluffing, then it's likely that we're going to be beat. Again, no sense in raising here. I strongly, well, not strongly suspect we'll beat, otherwise I would fold, but there's a good chance it would beat here. 7 of clubs, ace of clubs, much more likely than the 7, of course. And we weren't beat, fortunately for us. He had virtually one of the only value hands that we could beat, which is nice. Six, 7. We're not going to be opening that from middle position. It's pretty. It's incredibly pretty, but it's not an open, in my opinion, in high rake environments. Limp and a min raise. We get a massive 3-bet. Massive 4-bet, sorry. Where are you from? Anton01. Canada. Doesn't really teach me much. Not even sure why I checked. I think I'm just going to fold here, I think. I'm just going to fold. We're going to be flipping there or dead, or virtually dead. I mean, just 4-bets in these games. They're as rare as rocking or shit, especially from like middle position-ish. It's just, I mean, if the guy's just some kind of like bad spewy player, then we'll find out soon enough, and you know maybe he gets to do that to us once or twice. But I mean, if that happens routinely, then obviously ace king becomes a snap, get it in. But the first time it's happened, I'm going to take a pragmatic approach and find the fold. Not stabbing with the ace king here on this board. It pretty good for his range and not good for our hand. Pretty pants river. I think we just have to check back here. But super unlikely to get called by a worse. King jack, king queen maybe. Maybe some 10 jack might call from time to time. Interesting open size from Chris Denby here. We're going to make a 3-bet. King queen. Never mind. We did miss value there, but on that board section I'm pretty happy with the situation. No reason to raise here with our top pair. We're just going to be calling for the time being. If he bets 3 streets, I'm probably going to find a fold at some point. Unless he chooses a size that makes it hard for us to fold. Pretty good river. If he does have a hand like Queen Jack, then we're now ahead of it. And we now chop with some of his kings, like King 10, King 9. I don't like it, paying off 3 streets in these games. I think he's going to have a better hand than us a decent amount of the time here, but we're getting reasonable odds. I hate paying off. That's the trouble. I really, really hate paying off. And we do find the chop. Ace 9 suited. Could easily be a 3-bet here, but I just don't think we need to be taking these lines in these games. Yeah, we're just going to fold. Very nitty. There were lots of like higher stakes players who would just like instantly 3-bet there, and I think in some games it's a decent spot to 3-bet. Against an unknown opponent, we don't know how to respond to 3-bets yet. It's kind of marginal. If we get 4-bet, we have to fold. If we get called, then how much value are we going to get for our hand if we do improve? We go for check raise here. That were overcard, our backdoor flush draw, and our backdoor wheel draw. Interesting card to hit because we were planning on bluffing clubs. We were planning on bluffing on a deuce or a 4, maybe value betting an ace. I think we're probably just going to check fold now. With your showdown value, we can certainly get the showdown A versus pocket 7s, pocket 8s, 5x, and win. If he bets, then Don't think he has a worse value hand. I don't think he's, for example, if he's got a hand like 2/8 here, 2/7, he's not betting it again now. You know, we took our shot on the flop. When we arguably getting bluffed here sometimes. So I'm just not sure what floats he has on the flop. Float to check raise on this dry board. I think you can just have hands like pocket jacks, 10x. It just now realises that they're good. Yeah, we're just going to fold. Games are much slower than the party poker games, aren't they? Much slower. I was going to 3-bet myself, but young Shredders beat us to the punch, so we're just going to fold our ace jack now. Interesting decision whether to c-bet here or whether to let a free card roll off. I think we probably have the best hand. Not that likely to get called by worse. Maybe pocket sixes, pocket sevens, get stubborn. Then we're going to bet this flop. If we get called, we're just going to check back most turns. That's more just to like, in the shoe we don't give any free cards to like 2 overs there, like Jack 10, Queen Jack, those types of things. More than value betting as such. It's more of a protection bet. Not that into protection betting, but I think it was a reasonable spot to go for it. We've isolated a limper here. We got kind of an okay flop in terms of like we've got some backdoor equity, but it's a wet board and we're multi-way against 2 potential fish, so I think we're going to just tap out of this one. Pretty big bet here. I think we have to call once probably. Probably just going to check fold the turn, especially if he makes a big bet like upwards of 90 cents. Just going to find a fold. You'd be looking to build a pot here on table 1. It leads out. We're just going to go straight up for the raise here. You certainly get called by worse hands, 9x, pocket 10s, 8-7. All kinds of worse hands can call. If he jams, we're just going to be sad and call. Just hope he doesn't have the set. Six deuce. I wasn't expecting the 6 deuce. Can't lie. But we get there on the river. So happy days. Was not expecting to see the 6 deuce there. Unlucky, sir. Oops. Is this the same player we just beat? Not that it matters, but yeah, it is. King 9 suited from the small blind. It's not a nice hand to defend versus a middle position open, but we do have what looks like a fish in the big blind too. This guy's probably a fish because he's not reloading. We could consider calling here. The big blind, it'd be a mandatory call. We just let it go with the small blind. Now we're just seeing how Mom is capable of overplaying some hands, so we're certainly going to try and see a flop here. We do have 1, 2, possibly 3 regulars behind, which maybe are going to squeeze it out of the pot from time to time, but we want to try and play flops with people who we think are capable of being erratic. Now we're just going to bluff twice versus Mom when he checks twice. He's going to have a lot of like 2 high card combinations that we can make forward with a double barrel, sometimes even just with a single barrel, as we did then. Easy call again here on the turner. We're just going to check fold rivers that don't give us a flush. Won't be defending the Ace-6 suited versus the 4x under the gun open. Pretty rank flop for 2 10s. I guess we're just going to check forward line here. Theoretically, we could just bet our range, etc. But I'm not into that. Not in these games. I mean, maybe we just win here against pocket 7s or something like that. Check call turn here against Blizzard. Is it going to be the line? What did our opponent have on this set? We just had the King 9 and just decided never to bluff with it, which backs up my theory of not bluff catching very often in these games. I think we have to call here. When we're going to be losing to sets a decent amount, some ace-high flushes. But if we had a hand like 10, 9, Jack 10, just 2 random diamonds, I think I'm probably going to bluff catch in this exact spot here. I mean, does he float ace high very often on the flop on that board? Maybe. I think only ace high flush draws. If he has a hand like ace jack, he probably doesn't float it too often. Maybe he does. But I think, like, I mean, I'd rather not have the 9 of diamonds here. This is what I'd rather not have, because it does block like 10 9 diamonds, jack 9 diamonds. In fact, actually, because of that, Anal Smasher. That's a good name, I've got to be distracted. I think because you have the 9 of diamonds, it's probably just a fold. Maybe a call with my combinations of 9s that don't have a diamond. Anal Smasher. Anal Smasher 2. What a fucking name. I like it. God, I'm fucking juvenile. 45, nearly. 45 in 2 days. And I still get amused by names like Anal Smasher. I really need to grow the fuck up. We're going to enter the clip here with our gut shot. Unless he does something to prevent me from doing that. The forest spades isn't ideal. Some of his straight draws have got there now, 6, 7, etc. But he's like clinging on with 8x and what have you. We can certainly make him fold it. Shouldn't have too many flushes. Start off with a check call here with the jacks. If this guy had more chips, I would certainly strongly consider isolating with the king 7 suited, but it's a hand that's going to require us to do quite a bit of bluffing post flop, and against guys starting with just 30 bigs, they're not the guys that I'm looking to try and bluff post flop across multiple streets, because it's just really hard to do. Easy call here with the jacks. Don't think he's a king. I think he bets a turn again with the king pretty much all the time. He bets so your hands are going to be worried about are going to be stuff like ace 10, ace queen, ace jack, things like that. Not ace jack really, because we block it pretty damn hard. I'm trying to think what his value range is going to look like here. And if like pocket threes continues betting the turn, king x continues betting the turn. Let's squeeze with our queens here, obviously. Pretty big because it's multi-way. Ace queen's the hand I'm most worried about here. I'm going to call. Ace 3, okay. I wasn't expecting that one. That one wasn't factoring in my thought process very often. Okay, so what limps the button that wants to like snap min raise this flop? King Queen maybe? King Jack, pocket threes. We're going to peel once here. Feels kind of dirty because we know we're going to check fold nearly all turns, but right. Anal smasher. What are we doing? What are we doing versus the pot size open from under the gun with ace queen suited? I think we're just calling. And we're just missing. And we're just checking. And now we're just folding. And check with our top pair weak kicker here. Don't really think it serves too well as a value bet multi-way. Continuing checking now the jack's paired. If he checks through, we're going to go do a little bit of value hunting on the river. Right, and we're just going to be check folding this river now. Move to Jack X. Move to Ace X. If this guy doesn't have a Jack or a better, I'd be incredibly surprised. Hold and watch. Queen 10, yeah, so he had the straight, he had the Jacks. King 8 was dead. King 8 was dead from jump. When you see players just like donk pretty big on rivers, especially multi-way, they just have the goods with an absurdly high frequency. You do not want to be paying off large river bets in these games. It can be frustrating to have to fold some hands that you don't really want to fold, that you were hoping were good on the turn, flop and turn, etc. Yeah. Avoiding paying off versus large bets in these games when especially when like the aggression is unwarranted. Sometimes we can like check to induce, knowing a certain person might go for a particular line, but when you haven't done anything that's particularly going to encourage bluffs, calling, hoping people are bluffing, probably isn't going to be a winning strategy. For example, here now we could consider checking to allow him to bluff with these like 4-6, ace deuce, ace 4, ace x of clubs. But I just think we're going to get called way too often by a queen, so we're going to go with the bet. And he just snap folds, unfortunately. What was this pool? Massively dropped. That's 24. 24 in it, but for some reason they're not filling the tables. Not sure where I made that 35x there. It's lack of concentration. Checking down here with our ace king. Just a reasonable chance we're going to have the best hand. Maybe not anymore. The bet folds small this river. Wow, he called us with just the 5. Easy fold with the ace 10 off, blind versus blind. When you play poker, you've really got to leave your ego outside the room. I see lots of players there, like they do open blind versus blind with ace 6, and they just get into like, oh fuck you, I'm gonna 4-bet, etc, etc. Just because they feel like their courage, their manhood, whatever, is being questioned. And we can all fall into that trap. I've certainly fallen into it more than once, but by and large, even a hand as strong as ace 10 blind versus blind is going to be in pretty rough shape versus a 12x 3-bet. And even if it isn't in rough shape, how are you going to get to showdown unless you like smash the flop? This could be a check call versus some more aggressive opponents. I've played with Stefan a long time. At higher stakes as well. I'm very familiar with him. He's super loose passive. Well, not super loose, but he's super passive. And just if I check here, do I think he's going to stab with hands like 8-9, 8-7 suited, stuff like that? I just don't think he's going to ever bluff there. If I check to him, I was not very often going to bluff. So therefore, I may as well just bet for value. Charge his worse hands to draw against us. Pretty shitty turn card, and he snap leads out. We're just going to fold. I didn't like the turn. The minute it fell, I'm like, that is a dreadful turn. Gut shots I've got there, 2 pairs I've got there, flushes I've got there. And then he just snap leads out for pot. Good for him. Again, because it's Stefan, we're just going to keep betting for value into him with top pair and things. If he raises, then we have the easiest fold in the history of time. Dreadful turn card. Check and fold now. Why are we just playing 4-handed at every table? There's only 18 in the pool now. Wow, this pool's doing badly. I've never seen this pool so low. Normally there's always like 40-50 players in this pool. Minimum, quite often over 100. on, Stefan. A, you got there. B, you didn't value bet. Come on, Stefan. How are you ever going to hope to make any money in the games if you just never bet your hands? Spot where I think those fish in the hand I could just lead out here. Red woman doesn't seem to be a fish. This guy, no idea. So we'll go for the check raise instead. Looks like we're not going to be winning a big pot here. I'm going to go for the smallish cold 4-bet fold line. Wow, and the min 3-bet folds and then the regular calls. I'll start off with a pretty small C-bet. There were good shot. Backdoor flush draw. Not too happy with overs being good right now. But we do turn the straight. I'm going to go with a larger bet. I don't think there's any shot this player has Jack Queen here. Not versus a 3-bet and a call for me. Who knows, maybe. You can never rule it out, I guess. But at this point, we'll be off to the felt if Red Woman raises. We just don't want the board to pair. This is what we do not want on the river. We do not want boards pairing because that will be rather unpleasant. I have a drink somewhere and I don't know where, and I'm currently wanting to have some of it. What the fuck have I done with that? There it is. Cycling through a few incredibly trivial folds. So as you can see in these games, I'm not doing anything that can be remotely considered to be out of line, and I just don't think we need to be doing that in these games. It's just very much just play good, solid, straightforward poker, make the tight folds, make the good value bets, make the occasional bluff in spots where you don't think your opponent's particularly strong. I'm never trying to bluff people off strong hands. When you try to bluff people off hands that are relatively weak, but my hand's weaker. For example, when I think people can have ace high and I'm sat there with 10 high, stuff like that. Rarely do I try and make people fold made hands of any description. Of course, we also come to the temptation from time to time, but by and large, most of my bluffs come when I think my opponent is weak, but you know, for whatever reason, my hand's still weaker than their range. That's usually when I'm trying to find some bluffs. Do we race here to isolate Stefan? I think our hand plays well enough multi-way. Feels kind of weak this, but fuck it, we'll do it with a gut shot. Backdoor flush draw, 2 overs. Smells like a check raise up. Well, it was going to be a check raise opportunity versus Whiskey. Not sure it's going to be a check raise opportunity versus Stefan, who we know to be super passive. He doesn't bet the flop. I think he's just going to have 2 high cards a very large percentage of the time. Come back to this one in a moment. I think Stefan's going to have quite a lot of pairs here. Question is he going to fold them? I guess we're going to find out. Does he fold pocket 6s here, pocket 8s, 7, 8, that type of thing? No, he doesn't. Snap called me with the 5-7. Fair play. Ooh, aces. About time we picked up a nice hand. Yes, 10-1 over. Some shitty backdoors. Not enough good double barrel opportunities here, so we're not going to see bet the flop. Unfortunately, that does mean we do have to check fold, but such is life. Not defending the ace-5 off versus the 3.5x open. Easy fold with the ace-10 off versus a squeeze. So it's not been the most exciting of sessions, but to be fair, when is microstakes fast fold poker exciting? It's just not what it's about. We're not playing it for the thrill and the excitement. We're just hoping to grind out a solid game and book a decent profit by the end of the year. That's kind of what cash game poker is. There's very rarely any super highs. Frequently you can get into some kind of stale lows, if you will. But that is just the nature of cash game poker. The highs in cash games are never anywhere near as high as the lows are low. Just the way it is. If you're looking for thrills and spills, then microstakes cash game poker is not going to be the place that you're going to find it. And the problem is, if you try and generate the thrills and spills, quite often you're going to find yourself spilling a lot more than you're going to find it thrilling. The call with the ace jack on the button. You get lots of action. I'm going to be proceeding with caution on this board multi-way. We need to bet here to charge diamonds. It's a pretty easy bet, 4 to a raise, I think. Do we want to raise here or just call? Not sure raising is going to achieve a great deal. I think a lot of times this is going to go check call flop, check turn, we just bet river. Feels how it's going to go most of the time. Double barrels. Obviously we're afraid of better 10s, pocket 7s. No reason to raise, I don't think. Same hand. Didn't go for the value bet on the river. I think he's made a mistake there. I think he needs to bet the river. There's going to be plenty of worse hands players in this pool are going to call with. Not me specifically, maybe, but unless he knows that on some kind of nit, then who's just never going to call in without a 10 or better. I think you should definitely go for value on the river. Raise or over limp? That is the question here. Again, if this dude had more chips, I think we would definitely go with the raise, but if we make it like 55, 60 there, he calls, we're going to have like working with a relatively low SPR. Again, with a hand that's going to require us to do quite a lot of bluffing. It's just not something I think works very well against these types of players. And we just get a horrible flop and burn 40 cents. I'm going to play around to our blinds and call it a session. Wow, that came around quick, didn't it? And both tables finished just before the hour, which is kind of upsetting my OCD just a little bit, but never mind. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed the video. Going back to what we talked about at the start of the video, if you do enjoy my content, you enjoy the way I play, you enjoy the way I think about the game, and you think I could help you with your game, please do get in touch. I am currently looking for some fresh people to work with. My rates are $30 for one session, $75 for 3, $100 for 5. Unfortunately, I'm unable to offer refunds on unused sessions if you purchase them at the reduced rate, but hopefully there won't be any unused sessions. It's very rare, people don't use all of their sessions. And yeah, just get in touch. If you want recommendations, I can provide them, or if you want reviews of my work, I can provide them too, and I'd just be incredibly delighted to hear from you. I can't waffle for another 18 seconds, so we're just going to end the video in silence so we can get to the hour, because if I don't get to the hour, my OCD will be properly triggered. Take care everybody, and bye bye for now.